1, 2, test 1, 2.
What's up? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me all now? Can you hear me okay? Okay. Okay. All right. All right. I'm good. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started again.
My name's Stacy Weiler. I'm the Assistant Manager of Nursing Excellence, and on behalf of the Poster Awards Committee, I'm going to go ahead and announce the recipients. We had 3 categories: research, evidence-based practice, and quality improvement, and each category has a total of 3 awardees: honorable mention, second place, and first place. The poster submissions were reviewed and scored by 2 judges who volunteered their time today and whose names are listed here on the slide. The scores from each judge were tallied, and the average score was used in determining the award winners. So when I call your poster, please come up front and you'll receive your award, and we'll also be taking a photograph of you with your award. So our first category is evidence-based practice. The poster receiving honorable mention in this category is reducing falls utilizing a science-based approach. Okay, the poster receiving the second place in this category is evaluation of the implementation of a bladder scanning and intermittent catheterization protocol in the total joint hip and knee replacement protocol. And first place in the evidence-based practice poster category is implementation of a criteria-based tool for PIC removal. And we have Chris Baker accepting the award for Sarah Donnell. Chris Baker is accepting the award for Sarah Donnell. Congratulations to everybody in the evidence-based practice category. Our next category is quality improvement. The poster receiving honorable mention in this category is RN students in ambulatory care. That was one of our virtual posters, so she's not here in person. She presented her poster virtually and was on the screen outside. And that was from that was Elizabeth Fritz from Dean Medical Group. Poster receiving second place is Braden Score Education to reduce hospital-acquired pressure ulcer rates. And the first place poster in the quality improvement category is placental blood draws for neonatal blood culture. Okay. And Chris Baker is going to accept on behalf of Nancy Patrick. All right, our final category is research. The poster receiving honorable mention in the category of research is benefits of a restoration room. Congratulations. The poster receiving second place is assessing a poisoning triage strategy for diphenhydramine exposure in children. And the first place poster in the research category is text communications at a U.S. poison center. Congratulations to all of the winners, and a big thank you to everyone who submitted a poster, and once again to our judges. Okay, we're going to go ahead and call some more attendance prizes. So, Bridget, I'm going to turn it over to you to come up, and we do have more for the remote sites as well as the in-person sites. One of our posters did have a drawing as well, so we're going to go ahead and announce the winners of the drawing.
I know this is the most exciting part for all of you that participated. These are the prizes for the fall poster. Melanie Mays, you please come up for your yellow socks. Bob Libby, I think it's Lihby. Okay. Nina Rodriguez. Brandy Stanley. And Whitney Watkins. You all will be so stylish. We want to see you wearing those at work the next time you come in. Okay, let me grab those remote ones first. There you go. Okay, so this is for our remote site attendance. Again, I just want y'all to know that we did separate prizes based on the percentage here and the percentage that are remote. So we tried to make this as equal as possible. First person is Amy Ament from Madison, St. Mary's Madison. You received a nice SSM umbrella. Then we have Melissa Cronin from St. Mary's Janesville, and you got a $25 gift card to Panera. And Elizabeth Fritz from DMG East, you got $10 to Chick-fil-A. We also have a book, again, Reality-Based Leadership by Cy Wakeman for Jennifer Batham, DMG East. And some more SSM swag we got here. Daniel Anderson, DMG East, you got a nice SSM duffel bag. And, wow, DMG East, you really got pulled in this time. Michelle Stahl from DMG East, another SSM bag. So congratulations to all of you. We'll do the bags first. Or you want to do books? Bags? Is that okay? We'll start with swag first here. More SSM swag for our people who are here. Lindsay Jolly, please come up. You get a nice duffel. Kathy Holsey. Is she here? Okay. Jared Farrow. Justin Doherty. He's right there. Merritt Visser. Got some books coming your way. This is for Teresa Matuszek. No Ego by Cy Weekman. Tanya Ludi. You get Reality-Based Leadership by Cy Wakeman. As does Gina, I'm going to try, Hoelepp. Does that sound like anybody? Hodep. Okay, sorry about that. You know, we don't have to read doctor's signatures anymore, so my skills have gone down. Okay, Marlo Smith, you also receive Reality-Based Leadership. And finally, Sadie Rempert, you also receive Cy Wakeman's book. We are not done yet, guys. There is so much more to come. We have for Jennifer Sharrow. Another bag for you there. Joanna Holscher, you've got a nice little blanket here. There you go. Yeah. I'm going to give this last bag away, and then we'll get into the gift cards, because I know that's what you're waiting for. Kelly Papagiannis, however you say her name, Kelly P. I've known you for how long now? I can't say it. Okay, guys, the money. Who's going to give me the most to get these wonderful gift cards? Lauren Fagan, you got $10 to Chick-fil-A. Katie Smith, you've got $10 to Little Caesars. Lauren Smallwood, you got a wonderful $25 gift card to Amazon. Sue Weber, come on up for your $25 gift card to Amazon. We're not done yet. We've got one for Aaron Stopke, $25 to Amazon. I'll just keep up with the Amazon right now. Carolyn Odom, $25, Amazon. Suni Grew. Suni Grew, does that sound like someone's name here? Sunny? Oh, okay, Sunny Grew. You've got $25 to Amazon. Tammy Crow. Sunny not here today? Did she leave already on us? Sunny's here? Okay, Tammy, you can come up too. Okay, Melissa Durrell. $25 to Amazon. Brandy Stanley. $25 to Amazon. And the last of the Amazon gift cards we have for Sarah Lance, $25 to Amazon. I would feel the same way. Okay, so let's go with some more Chick-fil-A here. I've got a $10 gift card for Jesse Bangert to Chick-fil-A. For Christy Hengehold, $10 to Chick-fil-A. And our last gift card for Chick-fil-A is to J.O. Kelly, $10. 2 gift cards left. Which one do you guys want to hear first? We've got a Cracker Barrel and we got a Panera. I'll do Cracker Barrel. Vicki Samelman, we've got $25 to Cracker Barrel. And finally, thank you everybody for paying attention today. Elizabeth Smith, you get $25 to Panera. And I expect a little bit from everybody now. Coffee here, a nugget there. I don't mind at all. A snuggle with Joanne yes, that would be good. Okay, well, we want to thank everyone who actually donated these gift cards and swag to us. We really appreciate it. All the hospitals. Anybody else that I'm missing? All the ministries and councils, you were all very generous, and we truly do appreciate it. We hope you've enjoyed your time here. I'm going to pass it back over to Stacy now. Uh-oh. There we go.
My name is Noni Erb. I'm the Administrative Director of Nursing at St. Anthony Hospital in Oklahoma City, and I have the pleasure of introducing our Chief Nursing Officer, Maggie Fowler. As Chief Nursing Officer, Maggie is charged with bringing a nursing perspective, an enhanced focus on patient-centered care to organizational planning and decision-making, and is responsible for ensuring an exceptional quality of care, patient safety, and patient experience at SSM Health. In addition, she creates and implements nursing practice standards, to optimize patient care delivery while continuing to support nursing leadership development and succession planning. Maggie has more than 30 years of professional experience, and she's been with SSM Health since 1992. Maggie received her bachelor's degree in nursing from Webster University in St. Louis, a Master of Business Administration from Maryville University in St. Louis, and is Nurse Executive Advanced Board Certified through the American Nurses Credentialing Center. Please welcome our fearless leader, Maggie Fowler.
Thank you, Noni. Scott, am I good? Can you hear me okay? Great. So congratulations on today. I mean, we'll talk a little bit more about celebrations, but I really would like to just pause and talk to all of you about some great things that are happening across our organization. It's probably about 25 miles east of here, and that's in Cardinal Glennon. Cardinal Glennon, for those who aren't aware, started their magnet survey yesterday. They are in day 2. And so we'll, hopefully tomorrow we'll go as well as day 1 and 2, and we will have a great outcome for them. So I would like to take this opportunity to talk about Glennon. They applied for the AN. The reason I can't see is because I didn't put my glasses on. So this is a sign of age. But that's why you hook them on your shirt, so you know you've always got them. Has applied to the American Nurses Credentialing Center for the prestigious designation of Magnet. Magnet designation recognizes excellence in nursing services. Many of our ministries across the system are on this journey because the highest credential an organization can achieve and recognition of excellence in nursing and patient care outcomes. A growing body of research supports numerous measurable benefits to Magnet designation, including improved quality and safety, improved satisfaction and retention, reduced cost, and superior patient care. Maybe a well-unknown fact, but in 1983, the American Academy of Nursing Task Force on Nursing Practice in Hospitals conducted a study to identify work environments that attract and retain well-qualified nurses who promote quality care, resident and client care. 41 of 163 institutions possess qualities that enable greater capacity to attract and retain nurses and were therefore described as magnet hospitals. This characterizes that distinguished these organizations from others are known to this day as forces of magnetism. And for those of you who either were not born in 1983, and looking around the room, I would say there's a few, or were not working in 1983 or working for SSM, we were one of those, SSM, one of our SSM hospitals was one of those that was studied, and it's St. Joseph and St. Charles. So for those who are here from St. Joe's and St. Charles, raise your hands so everybody can see your environment you have been in. Judy Jones is the team leader at Cardinal Glennon, completing the Magnet appraisal as we speak, as I mentioned early on. Her background is Chief Nursing Officer and Vice President of Nursing for Patient Care, Administrator for Women's Services, and Director of Patient Education. In addition to Judy, the other appraisers are Ann Mohan and Linda Chase. And so just welcome to all of them. We're glad you were able to link, and hopefully the link is working. We're working. The link is working, I hope. All right, so we're going to move now into the Professional Practice Model Awards. Nursing professional practice at SSM Health creates an innovative environment for the achievement of exceptional outcomes while advancing and contributing to the nursing profession. Our professional practice model is operationalized through our I AM statements. We partner with patients, families, providers, and each other, using practices that are restorative, supportive, and promotive in nature. We're the preferred partner for care across the continuum. In this spirit, the Nursing Professional Practice Model Awards were created in 2018 to recognize nurses who embody our professional practice model through their consistent, exceptional service to our patients, customers, and the communities that we serve. This year, 82 nurses were nominated for the Professional Practice Awards. I want to recognize Amanda Fitzpatrick for all of her work in coordinating the nominations for the Professional Practice Model Awards this year. Amanda, where's yours? Thank you. With Amanda's leadership, the practice leads from each region reviewed the nominations through a blinded approach to select the awardees. Information such as the person's name, department, ministry, region, number of letters submitted for a nominee, and other employee names were withheld to give each nomination the opportunity to be judged on its own merits. I'm honored to be able to present the 2019 Professional Practice Awardees. Our first category, I am a professional. Nominees in this category embody the following. They create an innovative environment for achievement of exceptional outcomes while advancing and contributing to the profession. They seek ways to broaden their knowledge and continually pursue professional development and lifelong learning. The finalists in this category are Rebecca Hunt from Cardinal Glennon and Tiffany Taylor from Cardinal Glennon. Please join me in welcoming our 2019 I Am Professional awardee to the stage, Rebecca Hunt. Congratulations. That's wonderful. Oh, no, we're going to do this. Oh, sorry about that, Scott. Here you go. You have to stay. Sorry about that. Get over here. They want you on the camera. Rebecca Hunt is a neonatal nurse practitioner in the neonatal intensive care unit at SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. She's constantly looking for ways that she can pursue professional development and promote the professional practice model of nursing, as well as ways that she can support and encourage other nurses in their developmental needs so that we provide the best possible care to our patients. She is a strong advocate for nursing and patients, as evidenced most recently by her volunteering to represent Cardinal Glennon and the American Association of Critical Care Nurses on a national committee. Rebecca is a neonatal committee member working with the American Society of Health System Pharmacists on the Standardized for Safety initiative. She serves as a neonatal pediatric continuous infusion panel member. Standardized for Safety is the first national interprofessional effort to standardize medication concentration in order to reduce errors and improve transitions of care. Rebecca's contributions to this group will help benefit neonatal and pediatric patients across the country. Rebecca serves as a role model for professional development and advancing the professional practice of nursing. She is actively involved in professional organization and encourages nurses throughout Cardinal Glennon to do the same. She is dual certified, holding board certifications as both a neonatal nurse practitioner and critical care nursing neonatal. She encourages others to obtain specialty certification and has mentored several nurses in the NICU in preparing for their neonatal CCRN certification. In 2017, she served on the AACN writing committee for the CCNS exam. That was a test to see if I could get all those out. Helping to author exam questions, and has helped plan and organize the AACN Conference National Teaching Institute Advanced Practice Tract. She currently serves as a cadaver lab instructor at the Advanced Practice Institute at the National Teaching Institute and critical care exposition during the AACN conference, helping to educate advanced practice registered nurses across the county. She has also published articles in journals and other publications. Rebecca is active in shared leadership councils throughout her ministry, helping to provide input for changes in nursing practice and the work environment to facilitate decision-making at the bedside. Rebecca is a magnet champion and a member of the Neonatal Nurse Practice Council. She is deserving of this award not only for her commitment to advancing the nursing profession as described above, but also for her contributions in creating an exceptional experience for some of our most critically ill neonates and their families. She goes above and beyond with our families to ensure their child's care is well coordinated. Families are informed and involved, and during times when end of life is near, she works diligently to coordinate the multiple interdisciplinary services that are needed to ensure the best possible care for our patients and families. Rebecca's efforts to advance patient care and the nursing profession are making a difference every day, and we greatly appreciate her for it. We're proud of you. Congratulations. Congratulations. And in her spare time, like wore me out reading that one. Our next category, I'm an advocate. Nominees in this category embody the following. They're an advocate for their patients with special concern for those who are underserved and marginalized. They support other nurses in their profession, offering mentoring, teaching, and coaching. The finalists in this category are Caitlin Stumpy from Cardinal Glennon, Katie Smith from St. Agnes Hospital, and Saidi Remfer from DePaul. This year we have a tie. I love ties. Please join me in welcoming our 2019 I Am an Advocate awardees to the stage, Caitlin Stumpy and Saidi Remfer. Oh, come this way. Thank you. Congratulations. Great. Congratulations. I get to tell everybody. Yes, you do. You have to stay. You have to stay in front of the camera. They want to see you. So here's Caitlin's nomination. Caitlin Stumpy is an exceptional nurse who has found her passion in caring for pediatric neurology patients. Neurology is what I love to. Not that I should say that, but anyway. She continuously advocates for families, identifying those who have the most needs and dedicating herself to their care. She makes herself available to her families and works to make their experiences complete. Many families have described Caitlin as their rock, their angel, advocate for my child, and listens and cares about my child. Caitlin goes above and beyond to work together with colleagues from other services. She is a leader and helps new nurses excel in their roles. Caitlin embodies the mission, providing children who have nothing and are often overlooked by society or without a voice the one thing she can, the best health care to truly improve their lives. She makes a difference every day by continuously raising the bar and finding ways to improve care in collaboration with her team. When a family asked if I was the Caitlin of neurosurgery, it was truly a compliment. And now Saidi's nomination. Saidi is an amazing advocate for her patients. One day she was pulled to 6 North from her home, Unit 6 South at DePaul Hospital, and had an admission from the emergency department who had complaints of one-sided weakness and tingling. A CAT scan of the patient's head was completed, and it showed an infarct, but did not express whether the infarct was acute or chronic. Saidi pushed for more answers from radiology. She determined, along with the CSN, that they needed to call a code stroke immediately. The patient ended up having to undergo an emergency thrombectomy and was transferred to our neuro unit. Although Saidi had a very busy team that day, aside making this point, very busy team, she was on her game and paid close attention to her patient's test results and pushed for more answers when the results were not clear. Saidi always strives to give the best care possible for her patients and does this with a smile on her face. DePaul Hospital is so lucky to have her on the team. Thank you, Caitlin and Saidi, for the work you've done. I am a partner. Nominees in this category embody the following. They partner with patients, families, customers, and colleagues to provide exceptional care and service in every encounter. The finalists in this category are Brooke Brothers from Cardinal Glennon and Julie Hernandez from St. Agnes Hospital. Please join me in welcoming our 2019 I Am a Partner awardee to the stage, Brooke Brothers. Brooke's nomination. Brooke helps to support families through every stage of their stay at Cardinal Glennon. From the emergent trauma admission to the complex open heart surgery, Brooke is there to provide education and encouragement to both patients and families. Her skills really shine for patients who are frequently admitted and patients and families who are here for a long time. One notable event recently involved a 19-year-old patient waiting for a heart transplant. Brooke was one of the few caregivers the patient would speak to. She made it a point to visit his bedside every day to chat or take him a much-needed break outside. When he arrested and ended up in the intensive care unit on a ventilator and bypass machine, Brooke was a familiar face. When he received his heart transplant, Brooke sat with his family during surgery. She learned of his upcoming high school graduation and worked with our teacher and child life specialist to coordinate a graduation ceremony. The The patient's family, teachers, principal, and multidisciplinary cardiology team all attended the ceremony. The patient was recognized for graduating under the most strenuous of circumstances. As a sports fan, Brooke knew the patient's devotion to all types of sports and his dream of becoming a sports analyst. She was able to facilitate a video message by none other than Tom Brady of the New England Patriots, giving the patient a very special congratulatory message. Brooke consistently makes an effort to be present and really get to know patients and families on a level that allows her to provide the best possible care of the whole patient and family well beyond their medical needs. Brooke is an inspiration for many of us, including myself, on living out the SSM health mission. Thank you, Brooke, for all you do for patients and families. I am accountable. Nominees in this category embody the following. They are accountable to their patients and colleagues for their practice and for achieving exceptional outcomes. They are accountable to be competent, to use research and evidence-based practice. The finalists in this category are Amanda Crichton from Cardinal Glennon and Lochin Whiter from Cardinal Glennon. Please join me in welcoming our 2019 I Am Accountable awardee to the stage, Lochin Whiter. Here's her nomination. Lochin Whiter is a critical care nurse in the neonatal intensive care unit at SSM Health, Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. Additionally, she serves as Professor Emeritus at Maryville University in St. Louis, Missouri, as a faculty member at Simmons College of Nursing in Boston, Massachusetts. She's been a key partner for our nursing and leadership teams in advancing nurse-led research and evidence-based practice among our bedside nurses. As an active member of our Nursing Research and Evidence-Based Practice Council, Lochin partnered with nursing leadership to assist in the development and facilitation of a curriculum for on-site evidence-based practice workshops, which are offered free to our nurses and other care team members. During these workshops, Lochin educates the participants on research and evidence-based practice concepts and how to apply those concepts in a clinical setting. The primary goal is to build skills that enable nurses to evaluate existing evidence in order to improve patient and family care and healthcare delivery systems. Participants choose a practice problem that requires evidence-based practice evaluation and then review and evaluate the evidence to determine the need for policy updates or practice changes. All participants are partnered with an experienced mentor during the program who provides guidance, coaching, encouragement, and motivation to help participants effect nursing practice change and improvements based on the best evidence. Not only does Lochin teach the evidence-based practice workshops and serve as a mentor to participants, she also provides mentoring to the Research and Evidence-Based Practice Council members. These activities are all in addition to her role as part-time staff nurse in the NICU. These workshops were implemented approximately 2 years ago. Since then, over 100 nurses and healthcare providers have participated in the workshops at Glennon, including staff from other SSM Health ministries. She is currently the co-principal investigator for a research study evaluating this hospital-based nursing research and EBP program. In addition to her contributions to the EBP workshops, Lochin also provides support, encouragement, and mentoring for nurse-led research, internal and external dissemination and publication efforts for our nurses. She is the go-to resource for helping novices build skill in writing abstracts, developing posters, becoming more comfortable with research, and sharing best practices. As a result of Lochin leading the implementation of EBP workshops and mentoring clinical nurses, multiple evidence-based projects have been implemented throughout Cardinal Glennon and other SSM Health ministries that have led to improved patient care and nursing practice outcomes. Many of the EBP participants went on to present their projects at local, regional, and national conferences and have received top honors. Lochin's contributions have truly helped elevate nursing, professional practice, and research at Cardinal Glennon. Congratulations, Lochin. In our final category, I Am a Leader, Nominees, the source of leadership is the following. They're responsible for serving as a leader on their team and in their department and are instrumental in implementing our mission at SSM Health. The finalists in this category are Alicia Winkler from DePaul and Jeannie Mollahan from our system office. Please join me in welcoming our 2019 I'm a Leader awardee, Alicia Winkler. Alicia's nomination. Alicia has been a clinical support nurse at DePaul Hospital for 4 years. She's a strong, hardworking leader. 5, she said, sorry. Correction. Strong, hardworking leader that consistently has the best interests of patients and staff in hand. She's picked up extra shifts for years to assist her team whenever they are short. She holds her team and herself accountable. Alicia has even stepped up to work as a fill-in house supervisor. Whatever is asked of her, she does to perfection with a smile on her face and a positive attitude. She always advocates for her unit, her staff, and especially the patients. 6 North of DePaul was one of the first floors to roll out the new code sepsis program. Alicia, as a CSN, was one of the biggest advocates and set an example of enthusiasm and commitment to this very important life-saving measure. She led the team to embrace this new change with a positive attitude, which in turn led to better outcomes for their patients. Alicia is an invaluable asset to DePaul Hospital, and she deserves to be recognized for her leadership. Congratulations. As I mentioned, 82 nominations, so this is just a few of those who have been recognized within their given organizations. It's now time to switch to the Daisy Lifetime Achievement Award. The Daisy Lifetime Achievement Award was created to recognize those nurses who have devoted their life's work to the compassionate care of others. This is our inaugural year to present this award at SSM Health. Recipients of this award were nominated for their dedication to nursing through active mentoring, role modeling, advocating for their patients, and promoting the positive image of nursing. They serve as a beacon of inspiration to those at all stages of their career and in the various and important roles of nursing. One of the exciting benefits of bringing the Lifetime Daisy Award to SSM Health is it provides us with an opportunity to give nurses who have, over the course of their career, made a lasting impact on SSM Health recognition that is not only appreciated internally, but throughout national and global nursing committees. The criteria for the Daisy Lifetime Achievement Award was developed for SSM Health by Daisy coordinators from across the ministries to ensure that those nominated truly embody the spirit of professional nursing at SSM Health. The SSM Health Nursing Professional Practice Model served as the inspiration for award criteria. The award criteria includes a distinguished career as a nurse in clinical practice, administration, education, and/or research to promote a positive image of professional nursing. As a professional, this nurse has created innovative environments for the achievement of exceptional outcomes while advancing and contributing to the profession, while seeking a way to broaden their knowledge and continually pursue professional development and lifelong learning. As an advocate, this nurse has given a special concern for those who are underserved and marginalized. This nurse has provided support for other nurses by being a mentor, teacher, or coach, has partnered with patients, families, customers, and colleagues to provide exceptional care and service throughout their career. Throughout their career, this nurse has taken accountability for achieving exceptional outcomes. As a leader, this nurse has been instrumental in implementing our mission within our team, their department, their ministry, and their community, and 25 years of service. So the Daisy Lifetime Achievement awardees were celebrated at their home ministries. We hope you get a chance to read about the awardees in the Healing Garden. Their stories are outside. At this time, we'd like to honor all the Daisy Lifetime Achievement awardees. For those in attendance, when you hear your name, please come up. Christy Russell, SSM Health, Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. Donna Robinson, SSM St. Clair Fenton. Laurie Smallwood, SSM Health St. Joseph St. Charles. Anita Hamilton, SSM Health St. Joseph Lake St. Louis. Jenny Zipprich, SSM Health St. Louis University Hospital. Pam Lesser, SSM Health St. Mary's St. Louis. Tammy Trabu, SSM Health St. Mary's Audrain. Rhonda Shimmons, SSM Health St. Mary's Jeff City. Mimi Steele, St. Mary's Centralia. Lisa Austin, Good Stand. Demi McGowan, SSM House, St. Anthony, Oklahoma City. Jane Collard, SSM House, St. Anthony, Shawnee. Chris Baker, SSM House, St. Mary's, Madison. Janice Wilson, SSM Health, St. Clair Baraboo. Joyce Deeden, SSM Health, Dean Clinic. Deb Wolf, Monroe Clinic. Amy Alstrom, St. Agnes Hospital. Bev Teachout, Ripon Medical Center. Please join me in recognizing all of our Lifetime Achievement awardees. Thank you all very much. Lots of celebrating going on. And while we're celebrating, I just want to take an opportunity to thank all of you, all the work that was done in preparing for today. The posters, the presenter, Cy Wakeman, I've got to go and watch her podcast, and I wish I had met her about 25, maybe 35 years ago. I would have saved myself a lot of wasted energy in my life. I also want to take this opportunity to recognize and thank someone that to pull this all together, you do need somebody who's taking the lead that's going to make it happen. And with that in mind, our chair this year, the person who made it all happen was Stacy Weiler. So Stacy, come on up here. So I am the only thing between you and home, but I'm going to tell you, this is my last symposium, so you got to hang in there for me for a little bit. Through my career, I've had a lot of questions. So what's your story? In fact, it started at the symposiums a few years ago. People are asking, okay, how'd you get here? I want to do that. What do I need to do? You know, what are the steps I need to follow? And so there's a lot that goes into, you know, what makes up a story. And the reality is there are no two stories alike. I have my story. Everybody sitting around this room has your own stories. But I'm going to share with you some of the things that have happened with me. And I normally just wing it and talk. But I'm not going to do that today because I want to make sure that I stay on time and get you out of here. Otherwise, you'll be here until about 5 or 5:30. So the real reality is for me is that I've been blessed with a lot of things in my life that have just kind of worked, and the timing has been right for some things. I've been very grateful for that. But another thing other than just my story, and I'm going to spend time on this, this is really what I want to talk with you all about, is last fall as part of a leader development session, and we were asked by the facilitator of the group, so what's your why? What's my why? Okay, what's my why? So the reality is everybody's kind of looking around the room like, okay, let me think my job in sequence. Okay, I did this, 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 and this, and this. And lo and behold, the first person who responded was a colleague, and in a matter of seconds, he shared a very, very personal story about his life and things that happened to him as a child, and how that experience guided where he went in life, and what he did and how he did it. So, okay, that's why. That's the deep. You know, what's the root cause? What's your core? What brings you to your work? And so I shared my elements of my story, again, very high level. I am an introvert and how I think. I like to process. You know, I need to role play. I need to work through a lot of things. So I gave an answer that was true, but I would say it wasn't as deep as I could have gone if I had wanted to. But what was clear to me in the end is we run around this group of probably 12. More than 60% of people around that table grew up in dysfunctional homes in some way, shape, or form. Whether it was alcohol, it was abuse, it was mental illness, there was a lot going on in individual people's lives. So my question for myself from that time had been, so really, what is my why? It's like, whoa, this is a really big question. And so I started going back through my life, and I keep building upon the story about what brought me here. Why am I here today? You know, what brought me here to this point in my life? And really, our histories, everything about us is about presence and different moments in time, different elements. What are the things that happen in our life, the things that we remember and cherish, and the things that you block well? I'm a really good blocker. And I'll be able to understand why in a few minutes. For me, the things I remember were the best possible things I could in my life, and those when I allow myself to be present. When I was there, when I was fully aware with what's going on, those are the things I remember, and that's really an important part of who I am. I'm going to share with you a very attractive woman, and love the hat, as you will notice. This is about circa 1912, and I really do love that hat. I don't have a head for hats. I can't wear any kind of hat, but anyway, she does. But I'm going to come back to her in a little bit. So everybody's story begins with their parents, right? So here's my parents. This is right before they met. They're either walking down Grand Avenue or Broadway in St. Louis. I don't know which it is. I've tried to find where that theater is, but I don't know what it is. But as you can see by the look on their faces, they are young, they're happy, they don't have a care in the world. They're just having fun, living their lives. This is a picture of them about 9 months later, just before they got married. My dad's still smiling, but my mom's got kind of a smirk on her face. And I learned later it was really the sun that was in her eyes. That's what she told me it was causing it. But again, young, no worries in the world. Fast forward 19 years. So here's my first family. There were 7 additions. I am the youngest, front and center. And my oldest brother, who's standing next to my dad in the back row, and I, if you look at our faces, we have the exact same facial expression. Everybody else is smiling, having a good time. Now my brother Dick and I, we were like, okay, what's going on here? I was raised in an Irish Catholic family, working class. My dad was a carpenter. Went to Catholic grade school and high school. Sisters Loretta in grade school, daughters of Charity in high school. And I remember, I'm going to share a really personal thing with me, and Sister Kathy's here, so don't take this the wrong way. But, you know, in about second grade, we're getting ready for First Communion, how you go through all those classes, for those who've gone to Catholic school and gone through. And the sisters kept talking about the calling, the calling. And I was like, what? Again, except for in the mind of a 7-year-old, what does the calling mean? So I made my own observations of the sisters and other people. It's like, okay, I've got to figure it out. Now I know that's the calling. That's what it is. How I know. And then, lo and behold, a year later, the sisters started coming out of their habits, and my theory was completely blown. Because I had decided as a 7-year-old that the way you knew what the calling was is if you didn't have any breath. Because the sisters wore these habits, and clearly they had no breath under there. Where other women, you know, you could see the breath. Well, lo and behold, the sisters had breath. So, anyway, a little quip there. Again, one of the memories I saved and stored because I liked that one. So, a key memory for me also is my mom. My mom was pretty impressive woman. Self-taught. She was a high school graduate, but never had any formal education after that. But she kept pushing education drives opportunity, drives independence. I mean, she kept that education. You know, so was very much of an advocate about education. And so it wasn't later until life, and actually until her funeral, that I learned from my older siblings that the marriage that started out, you know, happy and wonderful, didn't go so well. As it frequently happens in Catholic households, as beer was a regular element, especially for my father, who was a carpenter. And so I did not know until her funeral that she did want to leave the marriage, probably 20 years before he died. But if she had done that, my sister right next to me and I would have had to go to foster care because she couldn't afford it. Hence, education, opportunity, independence, which she pounded into my head. Here you go. That's me. One of the joys of being a pack rat is you've got everything somewhere in your house. You just have to truly find it. And so this was me. My joys in life were science and math. I didn't come to healthcare as a potential opportunity, but I knew there were certain things I liked. As a kid, I remember having my tonsils out, and ether was what they used in those days. And when I can still see it to this day, the ether, I envisioned in my head the nurse literally chasing me around, trying to catch me to get those tonsils out. And it was at DePaul on Kings Highway. My other memory was going to DePaul on Kings Highway, which is the older part of town here, to see a friend of my sister's who had fallen off my sister's handlebars on the bike and broken her leg. And this time when I went, there were the Daughters of Charity with the hats. Do you see any of the pictures of the Daughters of Charity? They had these hats that did look like the Flying Nun, literally. But I also thought those wheelchairs were really cool. It was the old kind of wooden back wheelchairs with the netting in the back, and they had these big, big wood wheels. So those are my first entrants. Again, going back to my mom, I worked for a veterinarian. I was a vet tech for 3 years. Absolutely loved that. And in those days, going to veterinary school, you had to either grow up on a farm or be a male. So I went to the next best thing. I became a nurse. As you can see from my face, young, didn't have any cares in the world at all. And I was happy with what I was doing. I was getting independence, and I got paychecks. It was wonderful. So I selected the area that I really like to work in was physical medicine and rehabilitation, essentially neurology, spinal cord and brain injury patients. That was really my core. Spinal cord more than brain injury. But the thing for me is that relationship-based care is what I did. Because over that time, and those were the days, and I don't get too excited about this, but in those days, if somebody broke their neck, they were in the hospital for a year, learning how to live life in their new body, and if they were paraplegic, they were there for 6 months. One of my claims to fame, again, a memory, a moment in time. So this was the late 70s. Who knows Farrah Fawcett? You know Farrah Fawcett? Remember the hair? All right, so on the spinal cord, my spinal cord group on rehab, the primary patient base is young teenage males who were stupid, drank and drove, and became quadriplegics or paraplegics, but they still wanted to look the part of a teenage boy, and I could blow dry their hair like Farrah Fawcett. They would line me up. I tell you, that was the greatest experience for me. I learned from Eddie Townsend and Phil Brown, who were the 2 rehab techs in that unit, they taught me everything they knew about how to take care of a spinal cord patient. But the whole idea of what I was doing was great. And I enjoy it thoroughly. For those who don't know, the 70s was the greatest era of music. So to Christopher's point, is Christopher still here with his presentation? You know, from Eagles, Queen, of course, all the young people probably have seen Bohemian Rhapsody. Well, they were, you know, Queen when I was growing up. REO, Leonard Skinner, and everything, absolutely everything Motown. So those were the joys of my growing up. And just for clarity, I think what we need to know, and this is an opportunity for you, I ended up getting my MBA because I love the business side of healthcare, that to the point of music, all we have to do is connect the dots and connect the business case. And what do we gain by spending $100,000 on music? We save $5 million on opioids. So I think that there is a potential case for how do we incorporate music and access to music for our seniors, and especially seniors who love their 40s and 50s music. I'm a 70s kind of girl. So again, it's all about presence and moments in time. And for the next 15 years, I've served in 3 different roles. I stayed at rehab for 4 years, and in the old terms, I can't say this anymore after Cy Wakeman, but I fired my manager and I was like, I gotta get out of here, because everything I thought that what a leader should do, she did the opposite. I ended up working for the state for 1.5 years, and nothing against the state, but I don't recommend that. I was a nurse manager on Neuromed Rehab for 10 years. Great people. Lots of things going on in my life, and there were great experiences. I got married, had 3 kids, 3 boys. St. Jude was my partner, and I was raising my children, especially boys, because you know boys bring impossible things, and what can be in life considered disastrous. But they, I love every one of them. So here we go, 1992, my entrance into SSM rehab. My husband had worked for SSM, actually St. Mary's, actually data center, but that's what IT was called in those days, for about 10 years. And he used to come home while I was doing my thing over here at the WashU, working at WashU between Barnes and Jewish. He was at St. Mary's, and he was telling stories about, oh, the sisters did this for us today, or you know, we had a talent show in the cafeteria, and I'm looking at him like, you know, what are you talking about? But it was fascinating that the stories he would tell, and an opportunity opened up there for education, an education position. So I applied for it. Always have loved education. That's actually what I did for the state. So Amber, wherever Amber is, yeah, I've been an educator for a long time. So I applied for that, but they said, no, we're going to fill it internally, but we've got this other opportunity, and that was to be the director of the spinal cord program. So how could you say no? So when I started at SSM, here are the boys, my boys, Olin Mills. How many have used Olin Mills in the day? We all have that picture of our kids, and it's a very precious moment in time for me. They really are the joy of my life. So this is Sister Janetta Hoffman, and my first week at SSM Rehab, I was standing outside the elevators on the 6th floor at St. Mary's in Clayton, and she came up to me, and I cannot remember what she said, but she took my hand in hers, and I felt an overwhelming sense of peace, and like I was home, like a home I hadn't known, just overwhelming sense of peace. And I was hooked. She got me. I was hooked to the organization, even though I had no idea what I was doing at the time. It was a moment in time. So over the years, early years, I learned a lot about these 5 women who really embarked on an unbelievable journey. They were escaping religious persecution. They weren't allowed to do what they wanted to do. Mother Adelia is there in the second. And the grit of these women impressed me beyond belief. Reminded me a lot of my mom. I was blessed. I have professionally been blessed to have worked with many sisters and known many of them. Sister Sherry, who was the marketing director there at the time, Sister Betty at St. Mary's, Sister Mary Ellen, who was in a leadership role at the time, Sister Cecilia, anybody here from St. Mary's old enough to remember Sister Cecilia in the lab? She was really tough, and she protected her lab employees. Sister Andre, Sister Judy, Sister Fran, clearly they were all called to their work, every single one of them with what they did. And again, moments in time. I was at SSM Rehab. I started as Director of Spinal Cord, moved into Administrative Director, and then as Chief Operating Officer. And in the late 90s, my boys were young, and I was spending 2 hours a day on the road. And I was like, okay, this isn't going to work anymore. I love my job, but what am I going to do? And I applied for and accepted the VP of Nursing position at St. Joe's, which was 15 minutes from home. So in 1999, this is the cover of my binder, which I securely put in the hands of Patrick McCrudden, our mission leader for the organization, Roots and Wings. And what at that point in time, SSM hospitals before Agnesian, were assessing what could we do to create a single mission statement for SSM Health. And the process was going to be to have facilitators from the ministries across the system, and I was asked to serve on a team in one of those roles, and the job of the facilitators was to help craft the message after spending time at each of the ministries, engaging our employees, and help us understand what is SSM. Who are we? What are we about? Tell us what you think of when you think of SSM. And from that work came, there were 3,000 employees who had voice into creating it, came our 13-word mission statement. Through our exceptional healthcare services, we reveal the healing presence of God. I never recognized or understood the profound impact these 13 words would have to the organization, because in truth, they have guided everything we have done for the last 20 years, from defining what does it mean to provide exceptional healthcare services to how in the world do we reveal the healing presence of God. But you do. Each and every one of you do it every day. So in the early 2000s, I was at St. Joe's, and here, I'm missing some slides. This is not the right deck. Let me back up. There she is. Yes, it is the right deck. Use your ear. Say, look at me, blaming somebody else. Looking around. What you do with the slide deck? Rather than stopping and pausing and saying, okay, flip it back, woman. So, I know what I'm doing. I'm touching the screen with the keyboard. Okay, now I get it. All right, so in the early 2000s, this woman, I first met her, Sister Kathy Buckheit. She's right sitting over there. She and I had breakfast on Tuesday. I said, what are you doing Thursday? And and over time, she's become a colleague and friend. She has background as a midwife, nurse, a midwife, when she was with us early at St. Joe's, she was there as a massage therapist. So, then she moved into pastoral mission and pastoral care. So in 2008 began a series of reorganizations within the organization. At that time, I had been the VP of nursing, but had moved back into a chief operating officer role, and I loved that job. I love what I did. Not that I didn't love nursing, but operations, you get to control everything. Good job. She was a colleague, a friend, a confidant, and I shared with her, the challenges that I was going through. And it's like, okay, I'm not getting this. This isn't my plan. This isn't what I wanted to do. I'm being asked to do something I really don't want to do. And another moment in time, she calmly said to me, God had another plan for you. So I stood there, open mouth, dumbfounded, and I said, well, why in the hell didn't you tell me this a long time ago? I could have saved myself so much time and energy. But I have to tell you, it was that one statement that has guided my life for the last 11 years. Where do you need to be? What do you need me to do? So in 2011, again, another cycle of reorganization, and I was asked to lead the St. Louis market, and then it was a yes-no question. I said, yes, I want to do that, but I also knew in reality that I could not do it alone. I love strategy. I love big picture thinking, but when it comes to the details, it's like, okay, I need help. So I made a call to someone who had left us, Miss Jeannie Mollahan, and I said, Jeannie, we've got an opportunity here. I need a partner. I need somebody who can take strategy and help translate that into our business operation for nursing. what can we do to create a nursing organization, and that time was the St. Louis market. And a year later, when I added the system role to my scope, we said, it's not just St. Louis, it's a system. We've got to figure out what we can do. So I think the reality is that I knew that someone needed to help make that happen. The system CNO role also allowed a different opportunity to bring the nurse executives from across the system together and to find that we had common ground. We all wanted to do more and better for the clinicians in every single one of our ministries. Everybody wanted the same thing. Our struggles were the same. We were dealing with a lot of different issues, but the reality is we need to figure out where are we going. What do we want to do, and what is our long-term picture, and how do we look at what is the guide? Where do we go? How do we set the pathway for us to get there? And for us, the reality was that the Institute of Medicine had recently released the report, Future of Nursing. It's like, okay, that's a thing we need to be looking at. And the other reality is magnet criteria. How do we look at the gold standard in nursing practice, and how do we use that criteria to help guide what we're going to do as a nursing organization, but also recognize that not everybody may want to pursue magnets, but we can create a magnet environment. Pathways is an element for many. In fact, our two critical access hospitals are both Pathways hospitals. So we recognized that we needed to use magnet, and we needed to use the Institute of Medicine Future of Nursing to help guide us where we were going to go as a nursing organization. A few years later, where's Julie Fitz? Julie Fitz joined in supporting Gina and me to help keep us organized and literally be the jack of all trades. I've known Julie for not quite 20 years, but she was raising her kids. They were perfect. I had 3 boys. They weren't. So I got to listen about everything Joel did, and Lauren and Anna. They were great. So it really did require the team to come together, and the CNOs, for all of you to know, they are your advocates. They're the ones who are standing back and saying, like, what do we need to do to create this environment? So out of the work that started on a long-term vision, we moved forward with the professional practice model. We utilize NDNQI as our base for nursing practice and seeing what we're doing well related to how do we need to improve clinical outcomes. We've standardized expectations around education, and I've partnered, Amber, leading a lot of that work with some of our local universities to how can we create cohorts to decrease the cost for people, simplify, move from ADN to BSN, and now MSN, and now DNP. So we've done that as well. So there's been a lot of work that's been going on. But what I'd like you to do when you look at this PPM, we've talked a lot about the I am, advocate, professional, partner, accountable, and leader. You saw examples of that today. All of this came from you, all of it. For the system, CNO saying, let's go here, and then saying, okay, through practice councils, how do we gather, just like we did with the mission statement 20 years ago, how do we gather that information about who are we and what we are all about? But I'm going to center on the visual. I want to make sure that you're aware of what this means, and then to help reinforce, again, our roots. In about the mid-1980s, about 1987, the sisters, the Franciscan Sisters of Mary, came together, and they decided that when they ended, so did the Franciscan Sisters of Mary. They will no longer be taking novitiates, that as they ended, as they left this life, that they, as a group, would be going away. And they made it very clear that, and they spent time over the next 25, 30 years, helping to make sure that they were providing lay leaders to help guide and lead and sustain the mission going forward. The Felicians from Southern Illinois and St. Agnes, the Sisters of St. Agnes have also been added. And I will add the Daughters of Charity as well, because Daughters of Charity were the first with DePaul, the ones with the big hats that I'm so admired. You rarely see the sisters these days. I'm glad Sister Kathy is able to be here today. I had the blessings. Some of you in the room have had blessings of having to work with them to understand their dedication. But the reality is, they put this ministry in our hands. They use those words. Sister Mary Jean Ryan said, "This is in your hands. You've got to take it forward." So it's really up to us to sustain and continue to grow. In my career with SSM, and this is the honest truth, I have had the opportunity to work with unbelievable people. Just the heart and soul is in it. I can tell you that probably less than 10 people in this organization have I met that I'm like, oh, okay, not the right fit. They don't get it. They don't understand what we're here, why we're about, because they clearly do not live the mission and values. These sisters have sustained through difficult times, as we have. Whether or not we realize that healthcare has been changing for a long time, it hasn't stopped my entire career. There's always something new that is coming to our way. But keep in mind that this visual is there specifically for you, that this ministry is in your hands. Based on the work that I've seen today, I have every confidence we're going to get there. So those 3 little boys have now grown up. They each have, I've been blessed with 6 grandkids and 6 bonus kids. Life taught me there is no such thing as a normal family. So the family that I grew up with, which was dysfunctional, I've learned through raising my own children that the reality is there aren't any, every family is a little off. So everybody has their quirks, everybody has their own things. So really, Ozzie Harriet did not exist. Donna Reed did not exist. Brady Bunch clearly did not exist. But we all had the ones that we watched as we were growing up. And but the reality is life happens, people change. But we're committed to working out. My husband and I have been married for 42 years. We just celebrated our 42nd wedding anniversary. It hasn't been all the roses and sunshine. But we were raised the boys where he makes me laugh. Let me just say that. And we are both avid sports fans, so that really helps a lot too. I'm one of those wives that gets into games, so back off when there's a game on. Like last night, Blues, back off. And Cardinals, they're playing right now, I think. A quick fun fact. In my life, I've held 11 roles and titles, and of those, I've applied for 2. So I share this with you only because, always, now that's not saying I didn't apply for other stuff. All right, I did apply for other jobs, I did get, but somehow I kept getting brought back to what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So there were many moments in my life. Education, I will say formal education opened many doors. I can't deny that. You have the education, you got to have the credentials when you submit your resume, and if you don't, that doesn't work for you. But the reality for me is that every role I've been in, I can look back now and know that it was meant for me. So let me share my own pearls of wisdom for all of you. Be open to saying yes. When you're offered an opportunity, I didn't really know when I was asked to facilitate. I had a lot going on. It was busy, but a lot going on. But please facilitate this work. I said yes, and it's been life-changing for me. Watch and listen. Listen more than you talk. Mentors come in all shapes, sizes, and roles. I'm going to go back to Phil and Eddie at Jewish Hospital in 1977, who taught me how to take care of a quadriplegic and a paraplegic. Education never ends, never. I learned that from my mom. She was a lifelong learner, spending time at the art museum, at Shaw's Garden, always learning, doing something new. She was a writer, and she wrote a few stories that got published, kids' stories. But education really does open your mind and doors for you. The only thing constant is change. But the question is, what are you going to do? Are you going to jump on board? You can't really change what's happening, but you really can choose how to respond to it. My advice. And there are times when my greatest accomplishment at the end of the day is keeping my mouth shut. As you would imagine, as you move into different elevations in the organization, politics are a big part of the work. So I do a really good job. I have this sign literally on my desk that basically says "Shut up." What I've been drawn to, though, I love the care. So my calling was to lead, and it's not because of arrogance. It's more that that's where my skill set sits. I'm responsible to, and every leader is responsible to reduce and remove barriers that keep you. Those are the bedside. Those are the fine point of care from doing your job. What are those barriers? You got to tell us, and to have a voice and speaking up what you want to do. So what's my why? My family goes without saying. Wouldn't be here without them. And you. Everything you do every single day. To represent nursing in this organization has been quite a journey. And I'm so grateful to have taken this journey with you on how do we create the nursing organization of the future. So this morning, Matt spilled the beans. You may have seen it or not, but I'm in the process of transitioning. They're in the process of looking for a recruiter, working with a recruiter to find my successor. The reality is my successor will need to have a skill set that is different than mine. His experience in population health, community care redesign, transformation. So because here's the deal, I think what you've done again today is you've validated, you've got this. You've got this. You've got everything that is working. It's going well. Is it great every day? No. But now based on SI, you can give yourself some additional questions that you need to ask yourself. But going forward, we need to make sure that we're positioning ourselves and engaging you to help us talk about care across the continuum. That's what the sisters did. It's our roots. They were caregivers. That's what we are all in this room. I've had the opportunity to work with some phenomenal teams. Recently got to talk to Patty Finnegan. She's the VP of Ops here. Patty and I worked together many years ago at SSM Rehab. But I can share with you a story before I met Patty about the care team at SSM Rehab that helped a young man, a seminarian, who broke his neck in an unfortunate car accident on an icy road, become the priest that he wanted to be. And a person I knew at St. Joe's who helped a young man who had a chronic degenerative disease, who left him on a ventilator, make the decision he wanted to turn that ventilator off. And she was the clinician who took that challenge and worked with him through the transition to death. You heard about Catherine this morning. Her persistence saved that man and allowed him to fish another day. I will also take this time to recognize my sister. Judy still here? Judy Wilson knows her. They work together. Anyway, while I've gone to the far side in her mind in leadership, all those bureaucrats in suits, she stayed as an L&D nurse for 41 years. High-risk OB at Barnes and then at Baylor. Loved every minute of it. I couldn't stand the thought of screaming women. Not on my thing. Not my thing. So, this woman is Catherine Joyce McHale. She is my maternal grandmother. She is an Irish immigrant. This is about circa 1912. She came to this country through Ellis Island. She had a sponsor. Her aunt was actually her sponsor. And she married. She had 2 children. And in 1923, she died at Mount St. Rose, the second SSM hospital. It was a place in just south of the city limits. And my mom was 6 when she died. And I know that my mother became the woman she was because she didn't have her mother, because she had her for a brief time and then she was gone. She also, my mother, claims she got her sense of style from her mother. Look at the hat. And she never, my mom was someone who never left the house without fully dressed, jewelry, everything, makeup. And I admit I do the same thing. I don't go out unless I can run into anybody and I have to worry about it. So really part of me was touched by this ministry before I was even a twinkle in my parents' eyes. So, I went too far. I did that again. So moments in time. Why did I stay? You know, I think that the question we all have to ask ourselves is, why do you stay in any given location? And for me, it was the moment with Sister Janetta. It was the teams I worked with. It was people like Sister Kathy, who really pushed me to say God had a different plan for me. So things I've been fighting, and I finally stopped fighting. But all of these single moments led up to, my connection with the work that was done here really laid the foundation for me around my professional practice and the work that I wanted to do to help support you be the best you can be as clinicians. I hopefully spent my career sowing some seeds in all of you, and I will also share that seeds are sown by each of us as we journey through life. Some seeds will flourish, some will not. What is important is that we continue to share our seeds, our kernels of wisdom, as we travel through the years we're given, trusting that what does take hold will bring hope to generations that follow. We can thank Sister Jean Staffis from CSA. So this is my prayer to you, and it's essentially a very simple one for me, just as I've come to focus on. May you trust God that you're exactly where you're meant to be. It's been my go-to, and it's my goal for all of you. So with that, I know that our ministry lives on. It will live on through you. And with this work, I really cannot wait to see where you take the organization going next. And since I am the end of the day, and to respect my Irish heritage, I'm going to take you to the Irish blessing as you travel home. So thank you. Thank you for a phenomenal day. Stacy, Jeannie, everybody that brought this together. I am very grateful, and I am so proud, and I cannot wait to see where you go next. All right, time to go home. Bye all. Thank you.